Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk Autism. Nita's running a little late. She'll be here shortly. Hey Charles, hey, let me send you the link to get you on here. Oops. Okay, I put the link in the chat box, Charles. There it is right there. How is everybody? If this is your first time here, welcome to Let's Talk Autism. If you've been here before, welcome to you also. I'm Linda. I'm one of the admins here, and Nita will be here shortly, who is the other admin. So, I hope everyone's doing good this Sunday. And we got Charles. Hey, Charles.
Hey, Linda. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, doing fine.
Good. Thanks for popping on.
Yeah, just had a busy week with our traveling overseer visiting our congregation, but.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's I see things are getting back. I think April 1st. Going back to
That's
normal.
right. Yeah. I was supposed to give a talk in Queens in mid-May, and they canceled that because of the fact that it'd be a long drive for me. So.
Oh, okay.
They're canceling a lot of those things. Yeah.
Do you normally travel that far?
No.
Oh, because you do
during the pandemic, because of the fact that so it was possible to give a talk in Alaska, via Zoom.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah, I get it. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Steve. Hey, Victoria. Hey, Pam. How's everyone? Hey, Teresa. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Dinah. I hope everyone's doing good. I think everybody's kids, are back at school, the ones that are going to school, right? And I think face masks are supposed to be, I think it's not mandated starting tomorrow at our school, at our schools.
We're back at school unless they have spring break this week.
Yeah, our spring break, I think, it's the week of the memorial. So I know it's April 15th on or up until the 15th. Time change was a bigger. Could not sleep, so was on the phone when it changed from 2 to 3. Want my hour back. So do I. Nita asked me, go ahead.
About what you're saying, Linda, is that I'm tutoring a boy who lives in California in math, and he has a spring break this week.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he lives in the Sacramento area.
Yeah, okay.
I think a lot of things may be, local.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's about 2 counties over. That's early. Ours is more than a month away. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did just have our winter break. I don't know what they called it, but they had a whole week off the third week of February.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Stacy. Same here, but we're on spring break next week. Oh, okay. So I guess it's all the way up until and through, usually around Easter, I guess, or mid, wherever Easter's landing. Nita asked me, she said, Linda, could I, she asked me if I would start this up. And then I thought, well, she's playing this early. I thought it was 2:30, not 3:30, which is my time. 4 o'clock is when this starts. So I thought it was 5:30, not 6:30.
Okay.
So even though we changed all the clocks, I had the time automatically changes on my watch. No, I still forgot. I think my body was still saying, nope, it's an hour earlier. And my school is on spring break too, which I hate that it's so early. It is really early. Maybe I'm wrong about ours.
You're probably right, because a lot of school districts schedule a spring break around the Easter holiday, which would be, this year would be Sunday, April 17th. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe so ours either ends on the 15th or that's the last day of school.
It probably ends on the 15th, my guess, because that's usually all it could be could go the other way too, because I've seen it both ways. But usually when Easter falls that late in the year, they would have it the week before rather than the week after.
Yeah, you're right. It's Monday the 11th through the 15th. So it's before, like you said. Yeah. Yep. So ours is a ways off still because we're what, March 14th tomorrow? Yeah, we're about almost a month away. School ends here on May 24th. Oh, okay. And ours ends in the second week of June.
Yeah.
And Linda question, girls 12 hormones, she's exploring her body, do I say something? Sonia, and she's 12. I guess you teach her about being discreet as far as being discreet anyways. So I guess if she's being discreet, then you I guess for example, like, so we used to always make sure Emily would wear a tank top under her shirt because she didn't understand being discreet. And then so like changing or the bathroom with the door open. So I think it's mostly about being discreet about her body, but I wouldn't make her feel bad about her body though. If she's going to be interested, I think that that's just something that's going to happen. But I guess you just teach her like I guess the discreet, being discreet about it.
And what you teach really depends on her level of comprehension.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And I don't know, yeah, and I don't know if you've gotten into that kind of stuff with her already. Um, Stacy says, I totally missed last Sunday's topic about food and being a picky eater. We can get right back into some of the things that we talked about. Teresa says, same with my son's school. Mask is not required anymore. It's optional, but you still have to wear a mask on the bus. We start our spring break the following week. Oh, I didn't even think about that. The bus. I think that should be because sometimes they're sitting right next to somebody on the bus. Michelle says masks are over there. So we were talking food last week. Being a picky eater and a problem eater. So when Emily had a lot of problems in food aversions and sensitivities with the textures. So here in California, Kaiser will send the HMO that we have. They will send you to the speech pathologist is the one who works with feeding because it's an oral sensitivity. So they teach them how to do different things as far as putting food to their mouth, and because it's all with the mouth, I guess. So we had a thing where they just showed us what to do, and then we crossed over to ABA with it. But it was basically see if you can touch the food. The next step is pick up the food, put the food to your lips. And if that's how far you get, if you get to step one in the first week, that's okay. And then when you get to that first step and you're okay with it, then the next step. Eventually, maybe just tasting it with their tongue, then putting in their mouth. Emily used to swallow her food like a pill. So if it was really tiny, she would try to swallow it. So our last step was to chew it. And then once she chewed it, she was fine. And then if it was just horrible, we would let her spit it out. But I would pick things I knew she would like. So I don't know what what you're dealing with specifically, Stacy.
Well, the other thing is if you have a child who tends to swallow food like that, you can always on the second weekday each week just say, well, let's just make that the day when we won't swallow things because that's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Starting early again, Charles. So I hope that helps, Stacy. If not, I mean, if you have specifics, feel free to go ahead and type that in. No, I just walk in her room and see her. So I guess too, it comes down to how you feel about it, and are other people walking by as well. And then I think a big thing is about teaching her how to be discreet, because if she does that there, you got to teach her the difference between there and I don't know if she goes to school, but there and a public place or a common area. So I think that's something that she needs to, like with Emily, I had to teach her basically. So if she wanted to scratch her stomach or something and she lifted up her shirt to scratch her stomach, we had to teach her that, hey, you don't do that. And even if a boy does that, a girl doesn't, so we worked on a lot of things like that. And then so she's really gotten that. I think that that's a big thing though. I think on the big buses, they're still recommended, but we ride the small bus. At the most, 6 kids and 2 adults, plenty of space. Nice. Yeah, there's not too many kids on our bus either. They only transport special needs here, and it's a big bus, but it's not full. I wouldn't know where to start. And she said, "Oh, Charles." And you can inbox me too, Sonia. Yeah, I know there's a lot with a girl. It's a lot. Loretta White Anderson, another 4.
Another tour for
another tour for
day rehab, I guess that is next week.
Hope better than the 7 I've been to, which mostly were babysitters for money. Looking for a place to work on skills, social, and life. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
What she's saying is that these places she's gone to, these 7 places, they all seem to be nothing more than babysit her kids. Paying, babysitting them, and obviously, if you're paying them to do more than babysit, you expect to get more out of that than babysitting.
Exactly. Yeah. And is it an adult program? Is it a day program? Is it an after school program that you're looking at? I was just reading about the adult programs after school, the transitional programs, and because Emily she's a junior now, so she'll have one more school year. But I was just looking at those and reading about the different things that they teach or go through, and then the ratios to assistants and workers and to the client. And some of them are 15-1, I think, which to me didn't seem enough for Emily's situation. Sonia, I would suggest talking about privacy, including knocking on her door before walking in.
Hi, Monique.
Hi, Monique. She's very private. I just started knocking on her door. And so how does she feel about it? When you walk in there, how does she feel about it when you catch her? And then too, of course, you went through this as well, but you don't want to make her feel like she's hiding her body because it's a bad thing. You just teach her, this is, I guess it's like you would teach, a kid, they change in a private place. They, and when they get a certain age. Justice is the only one on his bus. That must be nice. Here we have Starkey. They practice jobs and life skills, such as cleaning and such. My brother goes there and he seems to love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very good.
That's like the one we had.
Very good. Because even when you get someone who's level 2 or level 3, they may be able to do some things for themselves. You can reduce their level of dependency in many cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do like that because so our kids are progressive, but they might not be progressing all at the same speed. So when school is done at 12th grade, after 12th grade, there could be a lot more still, there's so much more to still learn. And so it just seems like a a sudden stop, so I do like that the programs continue on with the work programs, and then the work skills and the life skills. I do like that because it's a place for them to continue even though school does not continue. Adult day have 2 days, 2 to 3 weeks. Huh? I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, adult day rehab. She goes 2 to 3 days a week. I think that, or takes them 2 or 3 days a week there. I think that's what she's saying.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was yeah, okay. So 2 to 3. Sorry. Okay, sorry. So 2 to 3 days a week. Oh, okay. So adult day have days 2 to 3 days a week according to skill levels. Yeah, I was wondering if it was an adult because when I was reading about the programs too, that was something that was very important. What will they be doing? If they're just going to be sitting there being babysat, what's the point of going there and being there? And then on top of that, I know some of them go out in the community, and if they're not doing anything more than babysitting them there, I don't feel like they're concerned enough to be concerned enough with what they're doing and to take them out in the community. It just doesn't seem. It was going to take me a bit to trust them in the community with Emily.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're not getting what you're paying for, you need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and lots of times these programs are included up into a certain age with is that you or me? Can you turn it off? Okay, sorry about that. My phone was ringing. Lots of times when you go to these programs, they're included in the after school. Like, so if your kid graduates, I think until they're 22 here, the school district will still be paying for it. So it's still paid for, and it's like a continuing education for them. But yeah, definitely you still want it to be, beneficial, of course. And then if you are paying for it, most definitely, either which way, it's a place for a kid to still progressively keep learning and be progressive with it. She just has a blank stare. So she does know that it's a different situation, or is she not is she not reacting and that's why she has a blank stare, or she has a blank stare because she doesn't know what to expect? Yeah, I'm struggling with getting Molly to understand changing in private, not bathing with her brothers and things like that. Yeah, that's about the age there, a little bit earlier, depending on, all the siblings' ages and the household and everything. But I guess that's something that we teach from a certain time. But then there's lots of our kids that don't like to wear clothes around the house. They may, take their pants off and have, their underwear on, their boxers, and that's about it. So that's another thing. But if she's okay with having her clothes on and everything, yeah, I think that would be it would be a starting point if you haven't done that. But if you have taught about changing in private, shutting the door when you use the bathroom, if she's at that level of shutting the bathroom door and being in there alone, I think you just build upon that. And how is Molly understanding it, Victoria? And sorry about that, you guys. My daughter went to go pick up my Target, and I had to check in for her and everything. So she was there calling me.
Okay. Yeah, not Emily.
Sorry. No, no. My other daughter, my older one. I would maybe ask the other parents or even the doctor/team to give some suggestions on day programs. People who have experienced the day programs. Definitely. And oh, Sonia, you're the one here in Sacramento area, right? Elk Grove, I think. You may have many choices then of programs. That's probably where you already went to 7. I think mine, I know of 2 programs here in our town in Fairfield. That was a good suggestion, Michelle. Thank you. Hey, Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. Yeah, I mean, I remember my mom teaching me basic life skills, how to, the basics of cooking and how to do laundry. Now, those are two tasks. I do most of the cooking and I do the laundry for Cindy and me. She does a lot of other things around the house, but those are my realm now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. she's let you take it over, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so okay, where's my notes? Okay, so she says, I really don't know her level of comprehension. She's a touch me, not has to have the door closed, have a closed door.
yeah. Well, I think what I meant by that is how much what can she understand as far as what you tell her. And as you if you tell her that this part of your body is private, does she understand what that means? That sort of
Mm-hmm.
that's what I meant by a level of comprehension. um, you know
I totally missed everything you said, Linda. Andra needed me, but Molly just doesn't see why she should dress in private. And I think it's over time too. Just reiterating it, especially Molly's she's inquisitive. She's really smart. She you can tell her level because you would tell her something, she can ask questions like she's probably said, why do I have to do this? Just stating the facts and then reiterating constantly, regularly. I know the first time, it didn't work, the first time with Emily probably didn't work with the first time with my other kids. Actually, I know it didn't. So yeah, I think it's just like you get practice on certain things like schedule of meal times, time to get up and get dressed for the day, time to get ready for bed, bath time. I think it's just something that you just regularly do. So if she's going to get dressed, you regularly just reiterate, we're getting dressed in the room, nobody can see, we're going to the bathroom, we're shutting the door. And then eventually it does stick.
yeah, I think too. It's like sometimes a child just doesn't get it for a long time. Suddenly they'll get it.
Mm,
I can say that with me. That there are
yeah.
some things that I suddenly changed, suddenly snapped out of.
Yeah, I've seen that even with my neurotypical kids. It just seems like there was a last time, like, and then, like I always say with Emily too, some of the things that I thought would never end, or the things that she would never get to, um, it was never a permanent situation or a permanent. She went through her phases, but they were phases, and even though it felt like some of those phases were never going to pass, they passed. Um, and of course, some are longer than others. But yeah, so she understands privacy. So I think it's just beyond that. I think her exploring is a normal curiosity. And you said she's 12, right? I have to prompt her mostly for everything.
Yeah,
I think this could be the same thing, but if she already knows about privacy,
she knows not to do certain things when she's
mm,
visible to others. Then
yeah. And what does Molly think about it, Victoria? Does she? You said that she doesn't do that when she doesn't understand. Does she argue about it? Is she is your daughter in? Does she go to school or is she homeschooled, Sonia? I think this subject is hard to explain to any child. I think it is. I think that's why it's kind of like it may not even be so much words. It's more like habit and how over time habits to form a habit. It's like building, this is how we do things. This is how you know, um, where we do this, how we do this. I think it just is like a building of forming a habit. But if you think that she can understand the words, and Michelle did have a good point. She said a social story maybe, and if you feel like it's okay, if you feel like it's going to a certain level that you're not comfortable with or wanting her to be at, yeah, no, definitely, I would let her know. This, this is not okay. And then, of course, when she's doing something that is okay, let her know. Like with Emily, sometimes we had to commend her on if she was doing something and I didn't want her to do a specific thing when she did what we did want her to do. So, if one thing was not preferred and the other thing was, we made sure to commend her. Even though we normally wouldn't commend our other kids for that thing, but we're commending her for doing the opposite. I think this subject, okay, that's the one. So leave her alone. And again, I guess it's up to your comfort level with your daughter as far as what you will allow her to do. And because it sounds like it's not so much a privacy issue, because she seems to understand that. She goes to school. Okay, so she goes. Okay, that's what I was wondering, if she's in school, and how is she at school with it?
Yeah. Well,
Victoria says.
what you just said, that sounds like something I might have done. I don't know what her age is, but I might have done at a certain age. I remember one time we were on vacation. I think I was 12 years old, and we were staying at a cottage on a lake, and I was, changing out of my swimsuit, and I just took it off, went outside and hung it up to dry, went outside naked, hung it up to dry, and went back inside and got dressed. Or either is that or the other way around. Maybe it's that I got undressed and changing my swimsuit, and that was it. It was hanging outside. And I realized, wait a minute, I don't have my swim trunks, so I'll just run outside naked and grab them.
Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. Like Emily went out of the bathroom, the girls' bathroom on the playground. I believe this was like first grade, and she had her pants down, because that was the type of stuff she would do at home. And we would tell her, "Hey, Emily, go back in the bathroom." But we knew she was prone to do that. But it happened at school one time. So they did tell us about it, but we worked on it at school and home, as far as that. Yeah.
I was 10 actually at the time. Now I realize it wasn't 12, it was 10 then when I did that. But yeah, I remember it.
did
But also,
you go ahead?
because I knew that it wasn't really the right thing to do. I just didn't feel like putting my clothes all on again and then running out there.
Oh, you knew. Oh, you knew ahead. I mean, you knew at the time that what it was.
Yeah,
Easy decision.
I didn't feel like putting all my clothes back on, then going and getting the swimsuit,
Mhm.
running back and getting undressed again. So
Was anybody out there?
I don't think anybody was out there, but um, uh, you know, in any case, that's not the appropriate thing to do.
Mhm. She doesn't argue, but I will tell her to go get dressed in the bedroom, and she will come out naked to put her PJs in the basket and then go back. It's the same thing with you, Charles, right here, and then go back and get dressed. And then, of course, we don't know if Molly's understanding that, and then, or just, doing it because she wants to do things in a certain order. Um, but yeah, I think with that right there, and I don't know if you're feeling like you're making progress with her, that right there comes down to like task, they call it task analysis, like putting up a picture, like you take off your clothes, you put on your pajamas, and then you take your clothes to the laundry. So it'd be step 1, step 2, and step 3, and then
Or
she
in
sees
case
the
she was
order of it.
changing out of her pajamas to get dressed, and so it's the same thing.
Yes. And then so yeah, so it's kind of just like the steps, putting the steps together and letting her see the visual. Hi everyone, my son, hi Peter. My son doesn't get the idea of privacy. He's ASD 10-year-old. He will leave the door open so he can watch a movie. Yeah, that's uh what did they call that? Oh, I forgot what it's called. The way that people see you.
Perception.
Yeah, self-perception, I guess. They don't they don't really it takes, like, I see it developing with Emily, but she didn't have it for a long time. To worry about how she appears to everybody else. She's starting to get like that though. So I do see it developing now, but that's a common thing with autism, is the lack of it.
Yeah, the difficulty in figuring out how other people view what you're doing.
Exactly. Especially too because we did a book in book club, and it was about uh an autistic person wrote it, but it was about autistic people thinking what's in their mind and what they're thinking. You're thinking the same thing that they're thinking. They don't have to explain things to you. So if they're putting out a behavior that to us would be embarrassing, if they're thinking that they can do that, then they're not thinking that you're thinking, oh my goodness, they're embarrassing me. That's embarrassing, because they don't think it's embarrassing. They think we're on the same train of thought with them.
Yeah, theory of mind. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the thinking everybody's operating the same set of facts, and
hmm
also thinking everybody will process the facts they have available in the same way.
Exactly. So and then I guess that comes down to when they're practicing a certain behavior, which they are okay enough to practice, they think you're seeing it as they're seeing it. Um, yeah, it's an interesting thing. It was, yeah. We had somebody on here as well talking about it, and it was there. Yeah, it's theory of mind. Thank you, Charles.
Oh well, yeah. Well, if it
Um,
works, that's what works. It worked for you.
mhm.
That's great. That's what I would say, Dinah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so for my older boys who were at the time 11 through 13, saying close the door, etc., was not just working. So I started to scream and say, my eyes, I'm going blind. They'd get a laugh, but I was getting my point through. Now with these younger boys, it's more of a challenge because they want me to check every problem they have when it comes to even a pimple on their behind. So I understand trying to find out ways to get them to understand. Yeah, and every kid, we know every kid is different. Like when you said, you say with them, my eyes, and they found it funny, but it did work. And then you're saying is not, with my kids, all of my kids are so different from each other. Different things work for different ones. And then you kind of look at their personality and the way that they receive things that you say, um, plays a big part. So, what you say to one might not work for the other. And then, like I said too, we all know that all our kids progress at different levels, no matter whether they're neurotypical or on the spectrum. My son gets the I need clothes on, but to him, a blanket is clothes.
Yeah. Well, if it
um,
covers the essentials, it's not the same as clothes, but it's better than nothing.
mhm. Yeah, it is definitely. That's the first thing I thought too. Yeah, he's covered. Sonia says she's fine at school. She won't do anything at school. Nothing. That's good. So at least you have that area covered where it's not a concern out of the house. Is she only Is she your only one, or is she the only one that's at home? I can't remember exactly. Hey, Dannon. If she's interested or excited about getting older and getting to do new things, you could word it as part as getting older and maturing, getting more adult rights and abilities, possibly tie it in with something like a slightly later bedtime. If she can show consistent responsibility and maturity with this, then she could be also mature enough for, and I can't see the rest of the comment.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing with this thing is that you're limited in the length of comments that are
hmm
visible to
Yeah.
moderators.
And yeah, that's what, and hi, Logsden, Annette Gabriel. Hi and welcome, and Peter. Hi, Peter. Yes, yeah, that's what. In yeah, exactly. Theory of mind. So then I guess that kind of makes me think maybe she's staring at you blankly because she's wondering. Well, actually, maybe she's thinking that's exactly what she's thinking. Maybe she's not thinking it is an uncomfortable situation.
Oh wow, yeah,
Because every time after my son takes a shower, I have to dry him off. He will grab his clothes and walk to his bedroom, butt naked, while the front room's blinds are open.
wow.
Oh, and he's a I forgot how old he is. I want to say 11 or 12.
Yeah, he's older than I was that time of the swimsuit
Mm-hmm.
incident. Yeah,
Oh no, he's not. Oh, he's not covered. Oh, okay, he's using it like a cape instead of around him.
yeah. No, no, that won't do. Yeah, got to cover the essentials at least.
Right. Oh, okay. So she is your only one at home. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think too, another thing you could do is at school, and I don't know if she's in junior high or if she's in elementary still, but they cover sex education at school. I forgot what they call it now, but they do have it. You'll sign the permission slip and everything. And since it's taught in her classroom program with her IEP into consideration, maybe there's a way that they can make a social story at her level that she would understand with the way that you would want her to understand it. So I guess speaking with the teacher about
okay.
it.
So yeah, all right, same age as I was then when
Yeah,
I
he was the same age. Yeah,
grabbed my swim trunks.
was meant as whatever mom chooses as a new, more mature thing she could do now. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that's the bottom line is what is Sonia comfortable with. Um, he is getting better, but he is only 10. I can't believe he's 10 already.
yeah.
Hi, Heidi
Hi, Heidi.
and Danielle. Family life education is what it's called now. Thank you, Danielle. So I know they have you, they have you can even preview the information. So if you want to preview the information that they're going to be taught, but as far as social stories and them working with her on her level, you could probably even talk to the teacher about a social story if the social stories is a way that gets to her, and then telling the teacher the limits that you may have as far as the limits you would want her to have. It says that she said it seems that most 10-year-olds like being naked. I can't remember when Emily used to yeah, I don't know. I just remember her coming home and putting on pajamas really quick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, there's a difference when you're dealing. As far as most 10-year-olds, it depends on which 10-year-olds because see, those of us that are on the spectrum that don't really have the whole concept of how our actions are viewed by others. Whereas,
Hmm.
like neurotypical kids, generally, by that age, they understand, the need for modesty and privacy and so on. And I know my daughter certainly did well before she was 10.
Yeah, I think with my other kids as well, they did too. Um, as far as dressing and things like that, though, Emily wasn't one because I've always had a child care in the home. Her thing wasn't like, oh, I want to walk around with no pants on, or that wasn't an issue. It was her changing or the bathroom door being open. Um, but it's yeah, so hers was a little different. Junior high next year, I'm scared. Oh my goodness, that was a big one for. I think that's a big one. That one, high school didn't even seem as hard as going into junior high.
I think the thing I want to say this, my experience with junior high is, well, my parents prepared me for it. I think that's one thing you want to do is prepare your child for junior high with what to expect, with having a homeroom and then moving around to different classes.
Hmm.
Um, that's one of the things. And so I was prepared for that. I still had to get used to the idea that you only got 3 or 4 minutes to get from one class to the next. And then on top of it, there was a schedule mix up because of the fact that I was ahead of the other kids in math, so I was in algebra 2 instead of the 7th grade math. And so in putting me there, they didn't quite get it right, so they had to get that fixed up, but they did anyway after a few days.
Yeah, and that wasn't it would have been better with a smoother transition and less stress, but yeah, you're here, you made it. I know it was stressful. Yeah, it's hard because we want everything. I think I got high school, I got to Emily's school, and they didn't have anything. It's something on her documents, they didn't have anything, and I had went in the Friday before that Monday. But yeah, it was a little bit chaotic as well. And the thing too is Sonia, I don't know if she will be switching classes, or if she'll be like in a class like Emily where she has adaptive PE separate from class, but with her classmates, but a different teacher, and then have the other 5 periods all together. That was a lot more reassuring to me because then she would only have to get to know one teacher. The teacher, there's not 5 teachers to get to know Emily. In Illinois, they use Aaron's Law too. See, yeah, I see Victoria asked, "What is Aaron's Law?"
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Oh no, all 5 of my neurotypical kids did not care. They had the mindset that they are home, they could do whatever they wanted.
Well, I have to say, in my family growing up, there wasn't, the same sense of privacy that there is in most families. I remember, for example, when I was 14 or 15, I was, in one of the bathrooms brushing my teeth, and my mom just walked right in. She needed to go. She sat down, did what she had to do, you know, and my being there didn't bother her, but you know.
Requires public schools to implement a prevention-oriented child sexual abuse program. And so that's what Aaron's Law is. Again, it is requires all public schools implement a prevention-oriented child sexual abuse program. And when did they start that? I don't think I've ever heard of this.
Yeah, because that's something really that kids need from a very early age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I was asking what age or what grade they start that at. Joshua is 5.5. He's constantly taking his clothes and diaper off.
Yeah.
Here, even in middle school, if they are in special education services, they either have someone walk them to their classes or they stay in the same classroom. Yeah, I think so. There's some kids in Emily's class that might go to an elective class. They might have 1 or 2 electives. So they may have PE, and then out of those 5 periods, they may have 2 different electives, and then stay there for the other 3 periods. But when they transition to their elective class, there is a parapro that goes with them. They even stay in the class with them in the elective. Aaron's Law is a state-mandated class in age-appropriate sexual abuse and assault awareness prevention program. Yeah, I think that's I think that Charles is right. Yeah, it's an important thing, and then early on, but then of course everything at a certain level, age appropriate, I guess, meaning that it's something that they can understand. We just had an IEP meeting about that. She will be with one teacher, thank God. Yeah, that's it feels like, to me, it feels in a sense it feels the same way that elementary felt, just on the fear that I have and had is the gen ed students that were there. So the junior high gen ed students, then now the high school gen ed students, because she can go out between classes. She can go use the bathroom and do things like that during that time. Um, that is my real concern only. But I do really like that she's with one teacher in one classroom with most of the same kids throughout the entire day. Because that's what she did in elementary, except for PE, it was adaptive PE. It was a different teacher, PE teacher. But yeah, I was really afraid going into it, but it was just a different school, kind of the same thing. Um, Here it's taught in. Oh, okay, so they start early, Charles. They start in pre-K.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Hey.
that's, well, pretty much, as we recognize, that's, you got to start at a very early age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, it's good the schools are doing. It's even more valuable when parents are teaching the kids that, and schools are reinforcing it.
Mm-hmm. So my question is this: so they implement it. Do the parents have to approve it? Like, so like with I forgot what it's called, family life education. When that happens in the school year, the permission slip goes home. The parents sign it. Does this have parents' permission, or is it just implemented because of the law? Oh, so Sonia, she had her IEP. Okay, you guys started early on that.
The implementation of Aaron's law may vary from state to state. That maybe in some
True.
places it's not an option for the parents,
Hmm.
in other places it probably is.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, which I mean, I don't, I don't know. It's kind of scary if parents do have the say, but then as a parent, I would want to have the say. So yeah, it's a strange thing. My son goes to gen ed classes for 2 hours with a parapro, fourth and fifth hour, but he loves to go in the hallway during passing time to greet other students. That's exactly what I was talking about, Danielle. Yeah, so some of the students in Emily's class are set up like that, exactly like that. And then in between classes, so when other kids, gen ed kids, are switching classes, they get to go out into the hallway and they can go to the bathroom. They can go do things like that as well. So they are coming across and being in the same places with gen ed students.
Yeah, which that can be good. It gives
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
a chance, and especially you're talking about kids who have a shot at being able to function independently as adults.
Mm-hmm.
This
Exactly.
improves their odds.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they say too. I know California has that, but there's a certain law that they're on campus, but they're not supposed to be separate from the campus, from the class. I mean, from the school. So they're supposed to be included in the assemblies, included in the lunchroom. It's most inclusive. Their education part might be different in the classroom, but to be included in the school programs and the school goings ons. And that is good because that's where their social, like Charles said, those are the people that they'll be socializing with or interacting with in life, whether it's going to the hospital or working at some place. These are people that they're going to come across later on in life as an adult. Yes, we're sent a letter advising us we can attend the class. We can refuse. Oh, okay, they can refuse. Joshua will be going into kindergarten this coming fall. We've decided to keep him in the city school district versus the autism school. Any advice on that?
Well, what I would say is your son best, and and to something I said to somebody in the group who was raising a question. The dilemma: should I send my child for special ed or should I send him to a regular school? I don't know. And I told her maybe what you need to find out is if I opt for regular school and I see that he's not handling it, will I be able to fall back on special ed? And the answer to that question might have a bearing on the decision you make.
Mm-hmm. We went through that about the same age. I think it was kindergarten. Uh, we had a snafu in the very first couple weeks of kindergarten, and we considered putting her into a spectrum school. And we decided to keep her closest to Gen Ed as we could, even though she wasn't Gen Ed. We wanted her with her peers in the least restrictive program, I guess. So we did opt to do that. It seemed scary at first, but if you end up with a good team support system, good teacher, good people on board, it's a lot more comfortable and it's the least restrictive. So if you've decided that you're comfortable with that, look into their program and see, that you're okay with their program, and then meet the teacher, meet the parapros, and I think they are what build the program, and how comfortable you feel with it. Uh, I just found out Jaden is not in an autism class. They are trying to find him an actual program. This whole time, I thought that he was moved from the neighborhood school.
I think is how well is he handling, where they have him.
What was that, Charles?
The key thing is how well is he handling it. I think that's the thing. You as a mother look at that, and how well is he handling it, and that way you can decide. Okay, is this good for him, or do I need to fight to get him into an autism class because he's not handling the mainstream class well?
Exactly. Yeah, and that might be the situation. But I think what I had to look at when we did this was, if it wasn't a permanent situation once you try. If you're in a situation and it's not working out, redrop your plan, and then switch him to the autism school, and then here, Jaden not being in an autism class. There's always options. If something's not working, go back and rework that IEP. They are trying to find an actual program. This whole time, I thought that is why they moved him from the neighborhood school. So, okay, I forgot, he went from the neighborhood school. Did he just go to another public school that had more special needs programs? And then, so like when we had our IEP last year, we really focused in on who we thought her teacher should be. We knew the two teachers for high school, and we knew that which one Emily would do better with. We really put our opinion out there and our reasons. It's when you get to an IEP, always feel comfortable to do that, because it might be hard that day, it might be hard that moment, but ultimately it's going to be what you feel is best for your kid. Dinah says, I went to the class when they started with Nathaniel so that I knew what was being said in case he had questions. I will do the same for Adam and Isaiah.
Yeah,
I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Also, special education has their own bathrooms. Gen Ed students are not allowed. I would love that, Danielle. I would love if that was the situation at school with Emily. Yeah, that's always my concern is, they used to have him attached to the classroom, and you just, it's really just attached to the classroom. And then when we got to junior high, I think is when it changed.
Yeah, the bathroom attached to the classroom has its pluses and minuses. On one hand, it's kids are more comfortable with asking to use the bathroom when they need to. On the other hand, if the teacher doesn't watch what's going on with those bathrooms, then it can be a problem. Because one time, I remember when my daughter was in either second or maybe it's third grade, a couple of boys in the class that used the bathroom as a place to hide from schoolwork. And one time she wet her pants because, the bathroom was tied up by those boys who were using it to hide from schoolwork.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that was something Emily used to do when it was in her classroom. She would more readily go in there and hide from work and things like that. Queen likes to get lost and not return to class. She's always found with one of the team, but she never returns to class. Yeah, I wondered about that. Well, the first, we let them know Emily cannot be, out of eyesight. And the first day of school, when she went back, on campus kind of school, she got lost, and she didn't know her way back to the classroom. But yeah, that's one thing that it seems like we had to do that a lot and put that in the IEP that she needs to be, within eye shot. Um, because like you said, like Queen doesn't return to class, and I wonder now when Emily's going to the bathroom, which is about 2 classes down, at the end of the hallway, if they're watching her or if somebody's going with her.
Yeah, because it depends on, and this is true even on the spectrum or neurotypical. Some people have a good sense of direction. Some people have a very poor sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me, that
exactly.
wasn't the problem with my high school. I have a keen sense of direction, so finding classes wasn't the problem. The problem was getting used to the amount of time between
Mm-hmm.
classes.
Okay, if anybody wants to join on, I've posted the link. Everybody's welcome. Jaden's class is more for behavioral issues. Oh, okay. Is that why it's at a different school, or is it just a better is it just the program is located at the other school? He is not doing well. That is why they're looking. Oh, okay, got it. They put him in a PBS class that they said they put him in a PBS class. They said it was for autism, but he is struggling after being in the PBS program. What does PBS stand for?
Public broadcasting system.
I guess so. Thank you guys. I think that's just what I needed to hear. We are scheduled to have a transition appointment for Joshua, and we also know that if it doesn't work, we can still send him to a Rich Center. I'm just still nervous for my little boy. Yeah, that now on that advice to get rid of that, I don't have that advice. Yeah, it's hard, because we have to let them do it, but it's hard. We're making that decision for them. But that was a way that I kind of got through it, is that it's nothing is set in stone. It's not permanent.
Yeah,
It
that's
can
the
be
thing.
changed.
You have to choose between A and B. If
Mm-hmm.
if A isn't working, will I be able to fall back on B?
Mm-hmm, exactly. And hey, Sonia.
Hey,
Hey.
is my mic on?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. No, what I was saying, she doesn't get lost. She intentionally goes
Wanders.
to the team, one of the team, and does not go back to class.
So what does she do? She just do they leave her out there? So she prefers to wander around instead of coming back to class.
When she goes, at recess time, when it's time for recess, she doesn't like to play unless she's on her phone or doing a video game. So she'll go to one of the team's room and be there. And the teacher always has to send somebody to get her from there because that's where she wants to be. She always goes, she will always go visit the team. But during recess, she's not going back to class.
So she's got her own. So when they go to get her, does she willingly come back with them?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Well, that's good. At least
they still don't even know her level of anything, but they know she can read at grade level, but everything else, they know nothing about her because she won't do anything. She does nothing for them.
Wow. Yeah,
when she comes home and gets in her room, it's all her. All I hear is her talking to her phone, playing games, jumping and bouncing and moaning and all the stuff that they do when they STEM.
Yeah.
But at school, nothing. But she'll talk to the team.
Yeah,
she'll talk to the team.
Yeah.
Sort of like me in my first few days in first grade, where I was just spending the time counting my 76s.
Teresa. Okay, so it's at that school. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi, and Joshua.
Hi, how are you?
And Joshua.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hi, Joshua. Hi.
Hi. Yeah.
I think it was surprised because you heard his name. Hi, Joshua. So Heidi, this is Heidi right here. Teresa says I have to go now. I have to get my son, take a shower, on to make dinner for him.
Hi,
I will see
buddy.
you guys next Sunday. See you next Sunday, Teresa. Thank you.
All right. See you
Public
next
Behavior School is what it is. It's called Public Behavior School is what PBS is for.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Emily's about to Emily's having a slight meltdown right now. I don't know what's going on, but I can hear her. So anybody have any last words you'd like to share?
You guys stay positive, keep loving on our loved ones, and just be great.
Okay, easy, bud. Easy.
Yeah, just
Who is that? He's climbing on me.
okay.
Charles?
No.
Yeah, just tell everyone stay optimistic. We'll be back. By the way, this Wednesday will be Cindy's and my 10th anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Charles.
Thank you, Linda.
Yes, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Congratulations. Yeah, I'll have to remind Nita to let her know so she can wish you a happy anniversary. So I would say everybody stay positive. There's rough times. We're scared to try new situations with our kids.
No, Josh.
We know that we're always trying to make the best decision for them, and we will keep working on the situation until we feel like it's the right situation for them. I hope that helps, Sonia. If you have questions, you can can message me, and then that might it's because there's not a whole lot of the ratio of girls to boys on the autism spectrum is a lot less. So yeah, feel free to text me if you want to or message me.
No problem. I will if I have questions.
Okay, good. I'll look for it. And so everybody have a good week. And sorry I'm rushing off of here because Emily's crying, but I hope everybody has a good week. Everybody take care, and I will see you guys next Sunday.
Okay. All right, everybody.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.